Is there a universe outside of Bravo?
Did we miss the training manual to our 30s?
No. Are they for real?
Thank God for our girlfriends. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Structured Chaos with Kelly and Kyra. We hope that you had a great week and that you're ready to laugh about how none of us have it figured out.
Hello. So if you didn't see it, there should be another brand new episode in your feed, which has all of our recent life updates from the past couple weeks. So for this episode, we are going to get right into the recent news and shows and everything. But feel free to go listen to that episode to hear about like all of our personal updates and what we've been up to recently. But yeah, let's get into some news. There's been a lot.
So much news has happened, and like, yes, we took a break and like there was news then, but like this past week, so much has happened.
I know.
I mean, so first, like a little update on the Diddy trial. We're kind of just hearing the same things over and over again. You know, we're just hearing more instances. So Jane Doe has been testifying all week, which we now know is 50 Cent's baby mama, Daphne Joy, I think that's her name. Which, like, that's what I don't understand. It's like, if I get it, like, you want to go as Jane Doe, but if you're giving your dating timeline, like, you were publicly seen with this person always, so you could just easily reference, like, oh, you were dating him from 2021 to 2024. Oh, and these are the months that you guys were dating. Well, let's just look back. Like, we can see who you are, but whatever. And that's also, it's like one of like the most public trials. So also weird that you would, but whatever. This is what I don't really understand about it. Like I mean, what he's doing is obviously crazy. Like, you're making people take drugs. Like, she was talking about how like the shortest freak off that she had was 12 hours. The shortest. The longest was 3 days.
Okay, so I have not been like tuned in at all, like since basically Cassie was on the stand. I mean, I've like read like little things, but that's crazy.
Crazy. First of all, we've all had sex. If you have sex for an hour, like, you're making moves. If you have sex for 2 hours, like, whoa, girl.
Right. So like I'm wondering, like, so the 3-day thing, like, so what does that mean? They like
they're like constantly having sex, but she was saying like that's how like it's like fueled by drugs and like there's,
so they
like,
don't take breaks at all.
Like, there's little breaks in between that like might take a shower or something, but
they just take breaks to like do more drugs and
and get back into it. And he's like not participating, he's like just watching. So it's like literally just the girl. So she said that like she had 3 sex workers, I guess. Like, she had 3 escort, I don't know what you, like a male escort, I guess, come, and that at one point in time she was finding them online because she felt like that was safer for her. And she was like, I didn't want to just like keep being surprised of who was going to come next, or if I didn't like know them. She was like, so we would like, that would be a thing for us too, is like we would go online and like find these guys and like fly them out or whatever, and like those would be the guys that would be. And she said that she only cried 2 times, but like each time that she cried, like, he looked at her like, how dare you even be crying right now, like, you should be thankful. And she thought that like and he was like paying for her rent and like some other things. And so she was like, I felt like I couldn't say no because he was, you know, I didn't want to disappoint him. And I like couldn't take jobs anymore because I had to dedicate so much time to being with him and like doing these things that I didn't even have time to work. And then I had to come down from all the drugs. So then it was getting in the way of me making money. So I knew that I had to stay because that was my income.
That is wild.
But what I don't understand is like, again, like all of these things are horrific, but his charge is sex trafficking. So I don't know how the two correlate. Like, is it because they're being drugged and forced to have sex with all of these people that it falls under the sex trafficking category?
I think so, yeah. Because they were like, I don't know if the like word coerced is the right thing, but like they're
like not in their right state of mind.
right, and like his like abuse of power essentially, because he, like, you know how we talked about like in the Cassie situation, how he like
Would like derail
had,
the rest
she
of her
had like a
career.
record deal with him, and he would like basically tell her like, you're going to be no one in this industry, like without me you can't go do music and stuff like with anyone else, like all those type of things. Is like reasonable that she would be like listening to what he says.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's like that type of stuff. And
Okay.
so, and
And
like
then like
he obviously like beat her up and stuff like that, so he's
mm-hmm.
like forcing them to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, and like one of her or one of his assistants took the stand and like said to like she was complicit like with the Cassie stuff, but then she was also getting with him on the side, and like he would be
Mm,
that way with her, and she thought like she was going to lose her job, and like this was so
yeah.
good. And then like they were talking about how like his staff like if he ran out of money and if he ran out of drugs, like they would quickly replace it, you know. So just like I mean it's just crazy. Oh, and then like she said that they like she told him like he had to get sober, and this was like right before his arrest. I think this was like a couple months before his arrest. I think he was arrested in like November, and then so in August was like their last freak off, and she had said like you need to get sober, I won't be with you anymore, because he was like abusing narcotics so much. And so he was like, okay, like that's fine, but I want to have like a sobriety party. And so he was like one last freak off where he like got fucked up for days. And then I'm like, if someone says party and their definition of party means equals to days, I'm not attending. That's a no on that
Right.
RSVP.
So the woman who's was that you were just talking about is the one who said that. And
Yeah.
is she the one that she has a baby with him?
No. Daphne Joy has a baby with 50 Cent.
Okay, because he Diddy has like a young baby with someone, and I
Yes.
thought it
Yes.
was
Not her.
okay.
Yeah. She I don't his that the baby mama of his newest daughter hasn't taken the stand yet, but like Don Richard from Danny D. Kane took the stand.
Mm-hmm.
So like we saw a lot of key people, but again, like this is like week 3 of the trial.
You know, and his twins just graduated high school,
Mm-hmm.
and like all the brothers went. Um,
Those brothers are fucked up. I just like, and I know people that have partied with them, and they've said like, oh, they're just like his dad, their dad.
I'm sure. I mean, how could they
Mm-hmm.
not be? I
Mm-hmm.
also heard on a podcast recently that the girls, the twin girls, like before their mom died, like never had like social media or anything. Obviously, they're like
Mm-hmm.
kids.
They're
And
young.
then
Yeah.
the day she died, like got their Instagram account.
That's, yeah. Everyone who's involved in any close circle around him is going to need serious therapy.
Yeah.
I just, yeah. So that's kind of where we're at in that. And then tons of Bravo goodbyes and hellos. So Paige announced her departure from Summer House, which we saw coming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's just so busy, and I think like it just doesn't fit her lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
anymore.
She also
Um,
announced her pajama brand, Daphne,
mm-hmm.
which is like officially launching this week, I believe. Like she like
Which she,
announced it, but then it hadn't officially launched.
which there's two things that have been like negatively associated with it. So one, she's launching her Daphne launches the same day as Amanda's bathing suit line. And
I didn't know
so
that.
uh-huh. And so there was like some quote from Amanda like that, like, and it was like in a joking manner, but she was like, but was it? And she was just like, well, I wish she just wasn't, launching it on the same day. I can't remember what her swimwear line is called. Because it's like obviously like Paige has a larger following, and she's like, it kind of takes the joy away from me, but and then I saw another thing, but it was just a quick thing, and I don't know, but I guess like, and I don't know who this designer is or who this person is, but someone else has essentially like the exact same line, and they just like pretty much like copy pasted and now put Paige's name on it. And so they were like, oh, this is literally my line in everything that I've done.
Oh.
But I don't know. That's just one thing
Alleged.
that I saw. Exactly. Very alleged. You know me. So
Kyra probably just made that up.
It turns out that person doesn't even exist.
That's Kyra's line. That she thought of yesterday.
I'm trying to start Daphne.
Yeah. Caffney.
And then for all us millennials out there, Rachel Zoe coming to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
I love Rachel Zoe.
So there was like so many great memes, and it was like millennials, I die. And then it was like Gen Zers, who's this?
They have no idea.
No. So if you don't know, Rachel Zoe is iconic.
Mm-hmm.
She is like
what Rebecca Minkoff wishes she was.
Could never be and wish she could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel Zoe, that is how Brad Goreski got his start. That was her assistant. Her and her ex, or hers, I don't know if he's already her ex or soon to be ex, Roger. Like
they had their own show on Bravo.
The Rachel Zoe Project.
Mm-hmm.
And like she is the epitome of fashion. Like Style by Maeve, like that's like Rachel Zoe is every major stylist like in inspiration. You know, like she walked so everyone could run.
Yeah.
And she was like always known for like big glasses and lots of jewelry and just,
eating disorder core. Like sorry to say it, but she was on her Bravo show. She was very much like, I don't eat. Mm-hmm. And like she was very, very, very skinny. Like it was before she had kids. And it was just like very unhealthy, and that's how it was in those days.
100%.
And
because this is what, like 2002?
Yes, and it was very like hush hush. But that's how it was in the industry, but it was not talked about. But she like kind of was more open about it.
Yeah.
And like honest, not like, I don't know, it just seemed like more real that like she kind of was like, I mean, yeah, I like don't really eat, like and that's obviously not healthy. She wasn't like glorifying it, but it was just seemed more like, yeah.
Which, speaking of, have you seen like the viral supermodel snack?
No.
That's going around? Oh, okay. I'm gonna make it today. So it's heirloom tomatoes with cottage cheese, and you put like salt and pepper on it, and then you put turkey and avocado on top.
Oh, I have seen that. I didn't know that it was called that.
It's like the supermodel snack.
I don't love tomatoes. I mean, I eat them, but like I don't. Yeah.
So I'm telling you are.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excied for her to be back on.
And I think that's going to be a good addition to the cast. I think, like, I mean, again, not ageism, I'm sorry if it comes off that way, but like, I do wish we were starting to cast a little bit of a younger crew, because you want to have like a history with them. And I'm not saying that these women are, dying off anytime soon, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, love that she's there, but can we get like some like 35, 40-year-olds,
Well, and Teddy's coming back as a friend of.
And Teddy's coming back.
Also, speaking of Housewives of Beverly Hills, Tom Girardi got sentenced. He was looking like a walking corpse.
You want to talk about people who don't have a long time left?
Yeah, he isn't probably going to make it through his sentence, but he got sentenced to 7 years.
Now, I don't know where I fall at the moment in time. Like when everything first started, and like he then claimed to have dementia and all of these things. I was like, bullshit, you know, like you went from knowing everything to now you're like counting your days and like so sick and like can't think or do for yourself. And like, of course, I thought it was a bit like that was your exit plan all along. Like you knew once time caught up with you, this is what the story you were going to go with was. But like, he really looks like shit. Like he really does not look well.
And
so
his
I'm
clothes
like,
are so big on him. Like they can't get clothes that fit him. I mean, I don't know if that's like part of the point to like make him look worse, but I'm like, it's looking bleak.
like it's giving. I went to Goodwill and took what they had. Like,
yeah,
I bought the one size fits all suit.
Right. Yeah, it does not look good.
No. And then for the Potomac fans out there, Monique is coming back, which if you do follow, she was a little feisty and she like didn't like actually punch someone or hit someone. Like she like I think threw something at someone, you know, and like she called a spade and the girl did not like that. And so she was very loud and boisterous with her words and accusations and things. And so she had been removed from the show a few years ago. And she was great. Like she was great. And people who follow the show like did not agree with that decision. And so she just got announced this week too, that she's coming back, which I'm really excited for. And then if anyone's like following the Atlanta Housewives, which I love them, and great season, like they've got a good cast this year, but they have this one girl who was not casted well, and she is a pick me. And it doesn't seem like her and her husband like each other at all. And it definitely seems like they spend way beyond their means. Like this girl's like looking at a Ferrari one day, like and it's not giving Ferrari money at all. And there's also been like lots of reports that her husband may not even be into women, which that's what he very much gives off. And so there was this scandal in the beginning of the season where Kenya, who was a cast member, had showed on display like sexual explicit pictures of this girl. Kenya was immediately kicked off the show. It was like a whole thing. When you watch it play out, it was cringy that Kenya did this, like for sure, and I just didn't get it. But it wasn't. I don't think she was like naked in them. But they were just like very suggestive pictures. So now, and this girl has been nothing but drama the entire rest of the season, and like just causing all this ruckus. She just announced a $20 million lawsuit against Bravo. About how, workplace harassment, unsafe, work environment, sexually exploited, while simultaneously saying it wasn't even her in the pictures. So how could you be sexually exploited if it's not you? And the girl that did it to you was immediately fired and taken off the show. So how is it a hostile work environment?
Well, hostile work is one of the parts of, or one of the, that's a style of sexual harassment, is a hostile work environment. There's quid pro quo and hostile work environment. Those are the two types of sexual harassment in the workplace.
And that's our HR hat on right now.
So that's why it's called hostile work environment. That's a type of sexual harassment.
And like, of course, like the internet is going crazy and they're like, yeah, it's because you're a really shitty cast member and no one likes you and you're not going to be asked back next year and you've been nothing but problems. So of course you're going to try to like, girl, 20 million, go sit down. It's giving your 20 million in debt and need it. Like, go get your Ferrari, girl. Okay.
Well, speaking of big money, Hailey Bieber sold her brand Rhodes for $1 billion. and get your bag, sis, and get
your
rid of your
bag.
man. Get rid of your man, sis. Because Justin. Okay,
What do
so
you?
Haley was on Vogue, and Justin, her husband, like posts it like any husband should do. He should be hyping his girl up. He should be like, my girl, my girl, my girl. And instead, he writes this weird ass thing that's about how one time they got in a fight and he said, I told Haley she would never be on Vogue. Okay, you fucking dick. Like,
and
what?
And it was like, it wasn't like, and that wasn't even the weirdest part. It was like that he then continued to be like, and I told her she would never be on Vogue. And look, she's on Vogue now. And I told her that other girls would have been on Vogue before her and are prettier. Like, it was just like, it was like so weird. It's like, stop. Shut up.
Right.
Close your mouth.
Like,
Stop typing.
oof.
And
She's
know.
like, that's my man.
I'm gonna stick beside him. Now listen, I don't know. We have not walked 1 minute in Justin's shoes.
Thank God for that.
There have always been rumblings that, he was groomed and coerced into sexual activity via Usher and Diddy. People have speculated because he was doing so well for so long. And when this Diddy stuff, the arrest, not just the trial, because that's only been obviously 3 weeks, that since the arrest happened, he's kind of been unraveling again. And so people have speculated like all of that trauma is getting stirred up again. He's probably very fearful. He does not want to be called to the witness stand. He probably just like has buried this part of his life. Allegedly, like we don't know what has ever happened. This is all just allegedly what took place. So there is a part of me that feels for him because I don't know. And I can imagine if you do have this like thing inside of you that eats away at you and there's a possibility that it's going to get brought to life, like you're going through stuff. But yeah, I mean, maybe just like if that's the case, like just like deactivate your social media.
Yeah, I mean, if something did happen that's horrific and that's terrible. But I mean, Haley didn't do that to
Like
you.
Haley, you've stated the only thing I've ever watched on Justin Bieber, because I was like a little too old to like, I just missed that era of him. I did watch his YouTube series a few years ago. Like it was like right after they had gotten married, and I loved it. Like it actually like made me like really, really like him and her. And he like talks about how she saved him and how she's like the most understanding person. And like, it's giving, you thought you were going to be the breadwinner and now your wife is an overnight billionaire.
Yeah, I think he like, obviously I think he meant well
For sure.
by what he posted, and he meant like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. Like, but it was just like, okay. So.
For someone who's so good at writing.
I know.
You were exercising that talent then.
No. And then lastly, Carl and Vanita allegedly dating. Vanita just, I mean, so we saw this season on Summer House. He said he had a crush on Sierra. She turned him down. And Vanita's like the Temu version.
100%. It's giving knockoff Sierra in a bad way.
Yeah.
And if we know one thing about Vanita, she's ready to pick an unavailable man that's not right for her. So, and claim him till the end.
Although Carl is definitely an upgrade from JT.
100% an upgrade. But in an odd way, they're in the same lane. You know what I mean? Like Carl is definitely better.
Right. But they both have so much. It's just a mess.
Yeah. I texted Kelly and I was like, desperado seeking desperado. I mean, Carl wants to be in love. And like I said before, like we have seen immense growth in him from the beginning of this season of Summer House to the end. And I do think that he is on a great path and like his journey will be great. But it's just like, I don't think you should waste it on Benita because I think you're doing the work and I don't think she has done the work for herself. And so I don't think it's going to be a good combination.
I mean, we saw that at the reunion when she was like kikiing it up with JT. It's like, girl, bye.
When he does or does not still potentially have a girlfriend. So good luck to them. Good luck to them.
Mm-hmm.
Hope nothing but the best.
Have what you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's move into shows. Just so the listeners know, we're going to try like a different kind of format this summer probably, where we're going to talk about shows 1 week and then kind of personal life and news and non-show stuff the next week, and then shows like alternating weeks. So we're going to see how it goes, and obviously we're going to be asking for feedback and everything, but there's a lot of shows going on. There's Love Island, The Valley's still going on, Real Housewives of Miami is starting, Real Housewives of OC is going to be starting, the Next Gen New York City show started recently, Love Hotel, like there's just so many. So we want to make sure that we have like enough time to talk about all the shows when they do happen. And then we also want to make sure we have enough time to give like our personal life updates and stuff. So obviously today we're going to talk about a couple shows, and then like going forward from here, just to kind of give everyone an idea of what we're thinking about doing this summer. So we will have shows like every other week, and then personal and news and stuff on the other weeks. So anyways, The Valley.
Okay.
A lot. It's been going on, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Like so much has happened. So we left off last speaking about they were in Santa Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
So then they get home from Santa Barbara and Jax, so it leaves off in Santa Barbara as Brittany kind of calling out Nia and saying like, your husband has a drinking problem. Like, I'm over here sharing my life. Like, why can I not get the same, like, why are you not held accountable for your husband's thing? Which like, we are going to get into the Danny thing because that just like, it is driving me crazy how these people are acting about it. However, the girls all get together and they have like a dinner party, and Brittany apologizes to Nia and she's just like, I'm so sorry. Like, that's not how I want to show up for you as a friend. And like, I shouldn't have made it about me or about you. I'm sorry. And I, for that, I apologize. And I did feel that it was very sincere and heartfelt, but Nia then breaks down and she, talks about how she does not hide from things and she works really hard and she has had a tough life. There was a point where she was living in a car. There was a point where she was living in a tent, and she does not come from anything. And so like they work really hard. And so, yeah, he works really hard for his family. And so while on a cast trip, he did leave to go work to make money and then came back. And did he drink? Yes. Was he tired? Also, yes. Like both of those things are true. And like she does hold him accountable, and they do have conversations. And like all of the girls were ganging up on her, like, tell us this about your marriage. You need to be honest about this about your marriage. No, the fuck I don't. Mm-hmm. When I took those vows, was I taking those vows with you or with my husband? Because right. I don't need to tell you what's going on in my marriage, all of the ins and outs. What I choose to share with you is what I choose to share with you. Don't you ever come for me and try to tell me what I need to be telling you about my motherfucking marriage.
Right. And it's just giving insecurity for the other women. Just bored with their own lives.
And like the part that they don't see is like we as the viewers are seeing is like, she is holding him accountable. Mm-hmm. She is having tough conversations with him. And I'm sorry, they seem to have the healthiest marriage that I have seen on Bravo in a very long time. Mm-hmm. Because they seem to meet each other with love and understanding, and their ears are open. And dare I say, Danny is one of the very few, if only, people that I have ever seen on Bravo take full accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. And like understand what the word accountability is.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
I
you
agree.
guys-
I feel like when they have their like marital conversations, and like when Nia was telling him what like Janet had said about him like drinking in the pantry or whatever, and he like kind of starts laughing, like even though Nia was she was annoyed that the women had been talking about it, she wasn't like, yeah, isn't that so annoying? She was like, don't laugh, like this is serious. Like and then he, is annoyed as well, but he's like taking it seriously in the sense that he's like, okay, my wife is upset about this, that I need to explain it to her. And so I agree. She's like holding him accountable, and she's like, is this an issue? Like, what is happening?
Right.
And so she like holds her friends accountable for like, why are you talking behind my back? And like, what is this? And then she's addressing it with her husband in private, as she should. Like, I'm not going to call out my husband in front of this group of people. That's not how you handle marital things.
At all.
Like, that's not normal.
Like, the golden rule of a relationship is you support your partner in public and you have conversations with them in private.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have your back. And then in private, I'm going to be like, you were fucking wrong. You were dead ass wrong. Like, don't ever act like this again. And like, look at this person's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But in public, my man, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so then it goes into, then Jasmine is like referencing this incident that had happened with Danny at a previous Halloween party, and how he was just like very like, go get me this, make me a drink. She said grabbed her, but
I
like
think grabbed her girlfriend.
Grabbed her girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
We're not excusing it. We're not, making light of it. However, I think you're reaching. I think you're really reaching. And I say that because then further on in the episode, her and her girlfriend meet up with Danny, and they sit down and they talk about the incident. And yet again, this man is apologizing. Like, I mean, like, and all of his apologies have been genuine. Like, like, it's not like he's just like doing it to like, okay, like go through the motions. Like, he really is like being genuine, and he's like listening to their perspective. And so as she's describing why she feels the way she does, I'm like, well, this has nothing to do with what he did. This is your shit. Like,
yeah.
That's your shit about how you think people perceive lesbians and the stereotypes around them. Like, that is not what this man did to you. And
right.
So I'm like,
it like triggered something in her that has nothing to do with him. And that's unfortunate, but it's not on him. And he took accountability. He apologized. He wasn't defensive. He was just like, oh my God, like, that's not me. Because that's true. Like, as a friend, if I was like super drunk and like did something out of character, I would say like, that's not me. As in like, I would never like intentionally in my right sober mind do that. I would still be like, I'm so sorry that I did that. But I would also want my friend to know like, that did not come from like my right mind. Like, that's not something I intentionally went out and did. And if obviously they know that and they were accepting of that.
And like, they just kept trying to get Nia to admit that her husband has a drinking problem. And it's like, pot, kettle, mirror, anyone? Like, glass house, stones? Like, where are we? Like,
and then who said like I had an ex who had a drug problem or something?
Janet.
And she was like, okay, that's a little much.
She like a heroin problem and an opioids problem. And she was like, don't you dare I love how she calls him Daniel too. Don't you dare compare Daniel to that. And like, it's just like, and that's the thing too, because Janet made this whole big thing about how Danny goes into the pantry and takes a shot of tequila, but did it behind closed doors. And he's like, that's where the alcohol was. Like,
and if he was like, trying to be secretive, why would he do it in front of Janet?
And how he closed the door and made her feel uncomfortable. Okay,
and
girl.
Jason standing up for his wife. Oh, you chugged the bottle or whatever. And Danny's like, I took a shot. Like, I wasn't chugging the bottle. It's
And like, I'm sorry, if we're gonna hold Danny to this standard of sobriety that doesn't exist, like, what about Jesse, who just guzzling down bottles of wine and then wakes up and opens a bottle of champagne
Mhm.
and acts like a fucking fool? Jax is in rehab. Like, I mean,
Danny
what are we
left the drinking trip to go work and come back. That seems responsible.
And like, the guy has 3 kids
Babies.
and babies, and like, I just don't think it's weird that he wanted to take a nap. Would you rather him be drunk and like so obnoxious at dinner? Because you guys clearly seem to think that when he drinks, he's obnoxious. So wouldn't you be so grateful that he just decided to sleep the night away?
I just couldn't give a fuck less. Even if he was
Hello.
blackout drunk sleeping, who gives a fuck? Who cares? He's not someone who's
Bothering anyone.
claiming to be a sober person.
Right.
And we're like, oh my God, he says he's the sober person and you're lying and he's actually drunk. Like, who cares?
And then now we got Jax over here, who left rehab to get more clothes, which wouldn't you know, because he packed 3 things when leaving. But I'm
Right.
like, what rehab program is letting you just
I
go
know.
home and get clothes? And
I
how are
was
you able to text the whole time?
I was so confused on the timeline because he was leaving and he was coming back. I personally know someone who was in rehab and had their phone the whole time. It like was able to text the whole time. So I do know that there's different types of rehab. I mean, they were not rage texting me, but it was like a private rehab facility, so they did have their phone the whole time, and it like that part isn't as weird to me. But the leaving and coming back, because she was like, he was out and then he was at this park and they were meeting him with the kid, and so then I thought he was out, but then he was back in, and then he's like, I'm getting out today, and it was like, so I'm like, is he there or is he not there?
And like, him bugging the house?
He's crazy.
A fucking crazy person. He's texting Brittany and texting the producer. Tell her I could hear everything. Tell her I know this. And she was just like looking around like, I'm sorry. Does he have cameras and mics in the house too that I don't know about? Like, that's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And not paying the mortgage for 5 months?
I know.
Are you joking?
He's so gross.
Oh my God. And like his fake puppy dog tears, like, boy, you've been on reality TV too long to not be able to get some good tears going. Like, I mean, I've never acted a day in my life and I can give you better tears than that. And like,
I know.
and like, sir, like, we know you haven't made any changes, so we don't need you in your confessionals or on your phone calls to Jason to be talking about how you are just some like miraculously changed man and like you have seen the light and like how could you have gone this far and you have so much hurt? And it's like, we know you've got a lot of shit inside of you, but yet you haven't been healed in this facility.
Right.
Not
And
even a little bit.
I mean, I personally don't like Jason. I think everyone thinks he's like so great. And I'm like, but the fact that he's such good friends with Jax is a red flag.
Here's my thing with him. I think that he is a good person, and that's why he like, it's like when you're in a relationship with a bad person, you stick up for that person, you only see the good in them, like everyone else is like, what the fuck are you doing defending this person? But I think he has great intentions and a good heart. I think his wife is going to be his biggest downfall, because she's like putting these like little things in him to like make him be a certain way or like have this perspective, because of course he's going to have his wife's back, and so she's like putting all these things in his head, so like then he has to react towards them. And I think he cares about Brittany, and I think he cares about Cruz, and I think that he wants to be able to see any family work it out and get help and be better. I think that he very much has his blinders on at the same time, because it seems like he is very rational after. Like, he might say something, but then he comes back and he's like, after, I've thought about it, and I don't know where so it's like I see both parts in him.
I don't like him.
I mean, I'm not like a fan favorite of him by any, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that he's married to Janet, red flag.
Red flag.
I feel like something bad's gonna come out about him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the wedding ring thing, I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he's married to Janet, I'm just like, ew.
And what's just so crazy about this season is, like, dare we say a phrase that none of us at any point in time would have thought we would say, Kristen Doughty being the voice of reason.
She commented on our reel.
She didn't like what we had to say.
She's not a fan of us. Because we called Luke Sugar Bear. But I mean, I called him Luke also.
We called him, right, in the same
I said
sentence.
Luke Sugar Bear, and she responded to our reel and said his name is Luke. And I'm like,
if you're going to speak about my man, his name is Luke.
And it's like, I know. Did you watch the reel? Because I said Luke Sugar Bear.
But like, she really is.
She calls it how she sees it, and she's right. Mm-hmm. And she always has been, but she's just always been on a level 20, and so people don't take her seriously. But I think this season she's just not on a level 20, so she's just coming across more rational. But yeah,
things we never thought we would say.
I know. So Summer House has come to an end. This season was really all about Lexi and Jesse. This season really did not give us anything.
It was Lexi and Jesse, Sierra, Lexi, Jesse, and Carl and Lindsay.
And really, there was like nothing with Carl and Lindsay. Right. Like, it really wasn't anything.
We're going to feel differently because we had already talked about it a little bit more. And I talked about it with Jenna the other day and one of my clients. And do I think that Lexi was an ultimate girl's girl? No, I don't. Do I think that she is one? Yes. I don't think that this was her environment, and I do think that the girls are cliquey. I mean, that's just a fact, you know? It's just the hypocrisy for me, because I just feel like if it were any other cast member having a discussion, and I get it, their relationship, Lexi and Jesse's relationship, was dramatic and like it was short-lived and didn't need to be all of the things that it was. Like, I understand all of that. However, it just like really like, I just was like annoyed at the reunion when like she's talking about why she feels a certain way and watching people's confessionals and watching how the season played back. And everyone's just like, ha 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 ha, like, who cares that Jesse treated you this way? And like, ha ha ha, like, who cares? Like, you guys shouldn't have been together anyway. So like, everything he did is okay. And it's just like, but you guys are girls. And if that happened to any of the other people, you'd be like, fuck Jesse. I don't want to see him on, like, what did you guys do to Wes last year? You know what I mean? Like, so that just bothered me. And I felt bad for Lexi at the reunion because she was just sitting there like, am I crazy for thinking that you guys should like hold him accountable for, like, you guys saw how shitty he was. And like, sorry, like, to her point, like, Amanda, you're sitting there shipping Jesse and Sierra, which again, we did too. Like, it's not like, I'm not saying like they obviously they had more chemistry and like that seemed more like correct to be in. But like at the same time, like if you are Lexi watching that, you're gonna feel some type of way. Like, you guys, I thought were my friends. You're one hand giving me advice about something and then on the next hand bashing me and hoping that someone else takes the spot. Like, so it just like, I did feel bad for her. And especially like season 1 on a reality show. And she then announced her departure, which I really wish she would stay because I think she would have had a better second season. But
yeah, I think it would be so hard, first of all, to come into a cast like that that's been together for like years. Originally, she'd come in with that girl Bailey, and then like that girl never came back. So I think it was like a hard situation to come into to begin with. I think the girls, I mean, I feel like on the season, they tried to be there for Lexi over Jessie when they told Lexi everything Jessie said about her. I mean, they were very much like, Jessie's talking bad about you and like telling us all these things and like all these, you know, like, and they didn't have to do that. Like, if they had Jessie's side more, you know what I mean? Like, they could have just been like, oh, we're not going to tell we're not going to tell Lexi any of these things. But they like pretty much went straight to Lexi and they were like, stop dating him because he's talking bad about you and like making you look stupid. And so, and I feel like she kind of, I mean, we obviously don't know 100% the dynamics between the girls because they didn't show it as much. But it kind of seemed like they felt like she just didn't really, was kind of like distant from them. And who knows, like, we're never going to know like why that is. But I think what it sounds like is that after they got done filming, Lexi then went on this media thing and kept throwing Sierra like under the bus about all these things. Like, well, Sierra was doing this and Sierra's doing this. And it's like, okay, but in Sierra's mind, she's like, me and Jessie are friends. And if she really isn't interested in him romantically, or even if she is, but in her mind, she's like, I'm not into him. He's my friend. We've been friends for 2 years or whatever. You guys had a thing. It didn't work out. I'm still going to hang out with him. Whatever you guys had is not my problem. Stop talking about me. And then, like, obviously Paige is her best friend. So it's like Paige is going to have her back. So it's like, I get it. I mean, I do think I feel bad for Lexi because she was, like, alone. But I kind of get it at the same time. Because I'm like, if I'm friends with a guy and then he dates someone, they break up, and then that girl goes and is talking all about me, and I'm just like, I have nothing to do with this. And then you are my friend. You're not going to be besties with that girl. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So it's I do feel bad for her, but I also get it. I just think it just was a hard situation, and
like, I love Sierra. We have talked about it before. Love her, love her, love her. But I am getting a little tired of her. Like, listen, what more is Wes supposed to do? Like, what else? Like, this man has apologized in every single way that he knows how to do. And and every part about it seems incredibly heartfelt and genuine. And like, he was saying, he was like, I get where I went wrong. I didn't see it from that perspective. I am so sorry. I do want this. I do want that. Like, it is your timeline. Like that, like, I'm so sorry. But like, at the end of the day, I thought I was just describing my relationship and my experience. And like, I get that. And then, you know, she goes on to talk about like how her mom had gotten remarried and like how they have a tough relationship. And at that point in time, like, I was just like, that sucks because your feelings are 100% valid. And that is a very hard thing to go through, but that is not Wes's fault. Mm-hmm. What your mom has done and made you feel like is not his fault. So to keep putting it on him because you were with him in that time when you were experiencing this thing with your mom, like, that's not fair.
Right. But I still feel like everyone else is making a thing of it. She, I feel like, is not. It's not like she's saying to him every day. Very much is. But she's not going up to him every day and being like, beg for my forgiveness. She's just like, I don't care to be friends with you. Like she's not the one always bringing it up. Everyone else is. It's like she just doesn't want to be friends with him. So it's like, why does everyone care so much?
That part I get. I think it's more of like, there's a way to just like coexist with someone, but like, it's like he'll speak and she'll be like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, it's those things where it's like, fine, yeah. Like, yeah, you're not.
I feel like she did that a lot less. As the season went on, I feel like it was like she was like laughing. She would say like, "I'm laughing at your jokes," and like it was more like jokey at the end.
100%. But that's exactly my point. I think that she is portraying this like I have to still be mad when she doesn't want to be, because it's like that's how she was in the beginning, like ugh, every time he speaks, like fuck him, I want him to die. Then it like turned into like okay, because like again we still go back to like she's still in love with him, like clear as day. Like they definitely still have feelings for one another. Well, I actually don't know about him, but she for sure still has feelings or unresolved things with him. But then it's like then when someone brings it up, then it's like, oh wait, I forgot, I have to hate him. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's what I feel. Cause I do feel like she was a lot like more lighthearted and was able to just be joking with him. But then the moment she's asked something, she's like, all right, fuck him. I hate him. Yeah, he's stupid. And it's just like,
I don't know. I feel like he does it too, though. Because, like, when there was one thing when they were, like, leaving in the car, and she was like, West, are you backing up? So that's all she said. And then he's in the other car. He's like, oh my God, she just asked if I'm backing up. And it's like, I mean, all she said was, are you backing the car up? You know, so it's like she didn't say anything that was, like, weird.
I think his point was like, she acknowledged me. Like,
right, like, I know. But it's like, so from her, she just asked him a simple question. And so that had nothing to do with like, oh my God, I'm acknowledging him. I'm like, so we don't really know how much they actually talk normal or have normal conversations. And obviously they're going to play it up like it's always something. But I think it's like, they just need to, I think they're probably fine now. Like,
but. What I think I was most happy about on the reunion was they didn't bring Danielle out. Not for 1 second.
Didn't even acknowledge her.
Like, thank God. Like, that was my takeaway. I was like, finally.
They brought Emerald out for 2 seconds. I thought he was like a main cast member in the beginning of the season, and then he was like not even on it.
I don't get it. He looked great. I thought he looked very handsome.
Yeah, I did feel bad for him, like when with the story he told. But Kyle and Amanda, they're probably going to be divorced soon.
Like, you guys are still not on the same page.
No.
At all. And, like, it's better. Yes, we saw. And then we finally got the full story of Craig being kicked out of the wedding, which, like, did it have, like, that's what you guys were hiding?
Right, but to your point of being, like, my man in public, that's what Paige did, which is good. She was for years my man, and then behind closed doors, like, you're an idiot.
Yep.
Which I totally understand, but that is exhausting. Like, you know, if you're a public figure, to have to like lie and.
My point is like everyone made it seem like it was some big fucking thing.
Right. Like he did something crazy.
Out. Yeah, like I'm like, oh,
he was just drunk.
He was normal. Like was really, really drunk. Went in the house, and then his ego wouldn't let him apologize. Like, yeah,
I think it was more of a big deal because like. They were saying different things. Like he was denying that he got kicked out, but
love that she was like, I'll never speak his name again.
He'll never hear me say his name again.
I was like,
yeah.
Yep.
And then Lindsay and her man are not together. Which, I mean, whatever.
Sounds fine. Sounds great. Sounds like they've got it figured out, like whatever. It's funny that she's like, no, we're not sexually like sleeping with one another. We don't have any of that, but we're together, 5 nights a week. But if he were to date someone else, like fuck him.
I know. I'm like, so it's not going to go well once one of those starts dating.
No, it's not. It's not.
And Carl. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I love that like Carl got to like meet Gemma, and I think like he really did like appreciate that, and that must be a weird feeling. Like you were going to marry this person and you're now looking at her child that she has with someone else.
Yeah. That'd been weird if they got married. They just don't seem like a match.
But it does seem like he does miss their friendship.
Yeah.
And I like that she was like, I'm just not there yet.
I don't need her on the show anymore.
No, and I think we're weeks away from finding out she's not going to return either.
I don't think is ready.
Like, how can
you? She still wants to visit. She was never going to like let it go.
I just think like her Bravo venture will go somewhere else. She won't be off our TV screens by any means, but I do think like, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to bring your baby to the Hamptons every weekend while everyone's getting blackout drunk and having parties?
Well, we didn't think she would be on it pregnant.
Well, pregnant is different. You don't have a baby yet. You know, you could be at a party where everyone's getting fucked up all around you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but like, no, I have to care for this human outside of the womb now. Like, you know?
Yeah. And Carl got his teeth fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So
Carl got his teeth fixed. Nice that he acknowledged it. I felt bad for him though. He was like, guys, like it was giving Jenna Lyons. He was like, you don't understand the dental procedures that I've had done.
the trauma. Yeah.
So perhaps they need to link up with like Crest White Strips or something. Like,
I know.
we need that collab so he can pay for his mocktail bar. Which I don't know why everyone's giving him such a hard time. Like, people love mocktail bars now. I don't think that he's not going to be able to be successful.
I know. They just opened one in San Diego.
Yeah, like
The first one ever in San Diego. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So
last we have to talk about is Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So if you watched it, it's on Hulu. It was the second season. It is about Mom Talk, which is a group of Mormon moms from TikTok. If you haven't seen it, you need to. It's a great show. So lots of things happened. It was a wild season. Like, this is one of those shows where since it's only the second season, they're still like so early on that they don't know like how to play the game yet, in the sense that they just do and say everything and they show everything, and it's to our benefit that they don't know how to play the reality TV game.
100%.
They don't know how to like produce themselves and how to like show us only what they want to show and like whatever. So it's so juicy. And it's like the early seasons of like Vanderpump or whatever, like the stuff you can't script. And then, it kind of after a couple seasons goes away because they learn how to like keep things private. So anyways, it's just great.
It is so good. Like, I tell everyone, like, it is one of my favorite reality shows to watch because to everything that you just said, like, it is giving like early Vanderpump. Like, and these bitches are sober. Like, they're sober and they are so messy. They don't give a fuck how you're going to feel about their opinion. They just say it.
Yeah.
And Taylor's family, here's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter what religion it is. I very much dislike when people use religion to excuse their behavior and the things that they do and say while being incredibly hypocritical. It's like, oh, fuck you and your whole family and I hope you die. But scripture, 12.1 says, like, you know what I mean? Like, where it's like, I just can't stand that. So first we see Taylor's mom come on the screen, and no one probably knew that it was her mom because she looks completely different.
Completely.
A whole different woman. And that bitch said, oh, my daughter got a check. Well, I'm going to get a new face and body. So you have no problem spending your child's money, but you have a whole lot to say when it comes to her relationship and like, this is what I'm confused about. Last season, her family hated Dakota. They were like so sad that she was with him, so sad that she was having a baby with him. And this year, they're defending that man as if he like is
their
the
son.
world's greatest partner.
Yeah. So basically, if you don't watch the show, the main, like, the one who basically like started it is Taylor Frankie Paul. She has 3 first names. And she was married to this guy and they had 2 kids, and then they got involved in this swinger scandal. We're not going to recap the whole entire thing because you just have to watch it. But basically they got divorced, and so now she is with this guy, Dakota. And they just had a baby together. And so on this now second season, they're not doing well. It's a rocky relationship. It was rocky before they even had the baby. But her dad is such a dick. Like, he basically tells her, like, what did you expect? Like, you gave it up too soon. So, like, what did you expect? That he was gonna, like, respect you? And I'm just like,
what does that say about you?
yeah, like, disgusting. That's how you talk to your daughter? Like, you're sick. And the amount of things, like, why are you talking so much about, like, how many times they're sleeping together?
I don't like
At the family barbecue.
I don't like it. Okay, here's my question about this swinging thing, because the girl that Taylor, that like kind of like blew up the whole thing too with the swinger relationship, and her husband had fallen in love with Taylor allegedly. She joins the cast this year. Mm-hmm. So she starts off by saying like, no, none of it's true, none of it's true, none of it's true. To then like 4 episodes in be like, well, yeah, I know she's not wrong about the things that she's saying.
And her name's Miranda.
Now, the things that she's saying are what I'm confused about. So when these people are talking about swinging, no one's having sex?
So, okay. When this whole swinging scandal, like, happened in real life, I used to follow Taylor on TikTok. And I saw the live that she did when she was like, we were swingers, like, this whole thing. I was, like, watching it. What she said, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, is that, yeah, they were not having sex. They would, like, go and, like, have these parties where they would, like, drink and whatever. And, like, obviously they're Mormon. They're not, some of them do drink. But they would drink and, like, some of the girls would, like, make out with each other or whatever, which for them was obviously, like, a big thing. And they would make out with other husbands, and then they would have sex with their own husband in the same bed as each other. Like, but
haven't we all been teenagers before? Like,
but then her and someone else's husband, which I do not think is Miranda's husband. I think it's someone else who's not on the show, but I think it's the guy that Miranda's husband had the podcast with.
Okay.
Taylor and that guy had sex.
Okay.
Like, away from the group.
Okay.
Like, once or twice or something. And so that was what ultimately ended Taylor's marriage.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure, like, that was the only time she, like, had sex with someone else. But yeah, like, all the swinging that they're referring to was just, like, kissing and, like, maybe, like, hand stuff.
Right. Hand stuff, LOL.
Yeah, I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, like, that's what I was so confused about. Like, she was like, oh yeah, like, to Kelly's point, like, we would, like, the girls would, like, make out and whatever, and, like, the boys would watch, and then, like, we would all just, like, have sex in the same room. And it's like, yeah, that used to be, like, a Friday night in college. Like, I mean, like...
like, it's like they were, like, playing spin bottle.
Like...
Yeah, okay. It was bizarre.
I'm just like, we're giving them too much credit at this point. I mean...
I know, like, they were, like, yeah, it was the way that it was.
Or they were like, yeah, we all came down in lingerie, and then the guys just looked at us.
You're like, so Halloween?
So go out to PB on a weekend?
like, okay.
Okay.
So when does the swinging start?
Right. So when did you guys have when did the swinging happen that everyone has a problem with?
Yeah. So like that happened at 10 o'clock. So what time did the swinging party start? Because that's where I wanted to be.
Imagine you're like a newcomer to Utah and like you don't know, like you just hear about these like swinging parties and like you're like, fuck yeah, and you show up and they're like, you just gotta wear lingerie in front of us.
Yeah. You're like, yeah. And you're like, yeah, when does the swinging start? So,
then,
yeah.
Yeah, so that was that. I like Miranda. I don't think she had like a big part, you know, but I think that she will be good for the show. And I like that her and Taylor, you know, are mending their friendship again. It seems like that was like a big, you know, friendship and a big loss. Then we see Whitney, who I still just don't trust for anything. She's like trying desperately to get into. First of all, they all hate each other. let's just call a spade a spade. They all hate each other, but then they're like, it goes back to like being super religious and like using scripture to like go. It's like they hate each other and they're like, but mom talk, but we got to be together for mom talk. And it's like, what?
Yes. And then like Demi becomes the villain.
Mm-hmm.
She is caught like talking shit about her bestie Jessie, and that is no bueno. Demi wants to be the star on top, and she basically is willing to like step on anyone to get there, and that is not a girl's girl. We do not like that. Multiple of them like get pregnant. Jen, Michaela,
Macy, Jen. First of all, the fact that I'm even taking your husband's side at some point is a problem because...
Okay, her husband... Okay. Okay. We could do a deep dive on Jen and her husband. So the first season, they were in Vegas. They went to a Magic Mike show. Her husband...
Guys, also really quickly, that is why I went to Magic Mike. If you didn't hear our life update episode, like one thing about Kelly and I, like, we are serious about this and what we talk about. And so I was like, I gotta get eyes on this.
She had to immerse herself.
I have to know, was he justified in being upset with his wife? And let me tell you, as someone who was there and walking away, he was not.
Well, this is the thing. Jen didn't even make it to the show. She was only in the backstage. Mm-hmm. She didn't even actually go to the show. They were backstage, like, before the show, and her husband got so irate and was telling her, I don't love you. I'm going to divorce you. You're not a good mom. All because she was at this Magic Mike show. He was acting like she was at a freaking orgy. Like, it was the craziest thing ever. So he was such a psycho. So she has to leave the show and doesn't get to enjoy the show. Anyways, that's how that season kind of like ends. We don't know how like their marriage is going to be, whatever. So then this season starts and they're like not really together. He's like not living at the home. But then he comes back, whatever, they get back together. So it's kind of starting out with him like begging for her back. And so they like get back together. He is kind of like throwing her under the bus about like everything that happened last season. So last season their last name is Affleck. She had said that they were like distant relatives of Ben Affleck. So the husband's last name is Affleck, and then obviously she married him. And so she had said like they're distant relatives, like they have not met him, but like distant relatives. So he says on this season, like, we are not related to him. And like, I've told her we're not related, but she just insisted on saying it.
And he's like, can you please stop
saying it? Yeah. And she like didn't want to. And then there was like multiple things that he was like, she made that up.
Yeah. And he was just like, and she was like, oh, I'm a liar. I'm repeating what was told to me. And he's like, okay, but it's not true. So stop. It doesn't matter how the info came about or like why you feel like you can say it. Like, I'm telling you, like, we are not related to them. Like, so stop telling people that. Mm-hmm. So anyway, my cousin Ben Affleck.
Right.
So she's lying about, she's telling him, she's saying all this stuff. She's just like pretending she's someone she's not. So I am not a mom. I've never been pregnant. I don't know how I might react. When I imagine the day I find out I'm pregnant, not going to be like the way Jen reacted. Not going to be the way that Jen reacted. And I think that's a very telling sign when you're married and already have 2 previous children with someone and you find out you're pregnant and you don't want to leave the house or tell anyone and you don't know what you want to do and you hate that you're pregnant and you can't stop crying.
Pure devastation. That is so sad and tragic. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she wasn't on the season for a while. because of that. She was going through a depression. And then when she came back, she like accused Jesse of wanting to join their marriage. And that was so weird. She said, if you're trying to swing with us, the answer is no.
I thought Jessie handled that so well too. Like she was just like,
Jesse and her husband are probably my favorites. Like,
but like we are seeing in real time that they have been going through something, because there is still the speculation of the Marciano thing from Vanderpump Villa. And she stopped wearing her wedding ring, and then she acknowledged that her and her husband are going through a difficult time in their marriage. Hopefully they can resolve it and it can get worked out. But we are getting a reunion from them. Nick Vile, thank you for stepping up and doing the Lord's work. And so that doesn't air till July, which Kelly informed me, because I thought it was like this week.
Which really, it's in a couple weeks. Yeah. But I think Demi's not going to be there or something. Oh. Someone like big isn't going to be a part of it. So we'll have to see. But yeah, we'll obviously recap that once it airs. But yeah, so many things happened. It's a really good show. Go watch it. Such a good show.
Like, you have to watch it. It is reality TV gold.
It really is. And obviously we'll talk more like once the reunion happens, because they'll be talking about, you know, a lot of the big moments, I'm sure, on the reunion. So we'll continue to talk about it in a couple weeks once they go over it and kind of get more of their takes. So yes. So that is all for this episode. Like I mentioned earlier, we did a separate episode just about like our updates for the past couple weeks. So make sure you go listen to that. We are going to wrap up, as always, with our goals, and then also to do a little update on our prescriptions that we gave each other for the month, and then give each other new ones. So what is something you are working on this week?
I have to reorganize my clothes. My drawers are overstuffed. I'm going to buy a new dresser. It's a me problem. Yeah, I got to organize my clothes.
Okay. I'm taking donations.
Great.
Not that I should be, because I need to be getting rid of things, but I am.
Yeah.
I am working on being patient with myself and taking things one day at a time, which is abnormal for me. So, what is one thing you're looking forward to?
Not having any social obligations.
That's very nice. Mine is, this is the last week of the school year. So I'm looking forward to the school year ending.
Nice. Summer school's out for
summer. Although, I mean, I still work all summer, but you know, it's a different type of busy. What is one thing that made you feel like an adult?
That I walked away from the table in Vegas. I was gambling, and I was like, you know what? I gotta go. I gotta go.
That is adult. Mine was all the stuff I had to deal with my uncle. Just kind of not fun life stuff.
Not fun adult stuff.
Yeah. And then what is one thing you did to contribute to your mental health?
Slept.
Very good.
When I had time, like I did not have time, but when I did, like I made sure get to bed early. And sleep.
Nice. Yeah. Mine was took time off.
Very proud of you for that.
Thanks. Okay, so really quick, how did you, well, I guess maybe we should say how we think the other person did on their prescriptions, and then we'll say how we thought we did on our own. Okay. Okay, so for those of you who don't remember, I prescribed Kyra to leave her house 5 minutes early, or like start her tasks 5 minutes early, but mostly like leave her house 5 minutes early. For the things that she did with me, which were a couple things. We don't see each other that often in person, but we did like a couple times this month. And she did great. She was on time for almost everything. There was only one thing she wasn't on time for, which she didn't take accountability for, and she blamed me and others. But
I told the truth. God forbid I tell the facts.
no, but you blamed. So you blamed me for asking for Padres clothing, which you knew about the day before because I plan ahead. So you could have left earlier still. But she did really good. And yeah, that's how she did on her prescription. How do you think you did, since I don't know how you did the rest of the time?
I think I did great.
Excellent.
I think, obviously there's always still room for improvement and I
Mhm.
can always be getting better, but I think like strides were made.
Mhm.
And everyone, I was early today too. Beat Kelly to getting on here today too. So, I mean, this is something that's rolling over into month 2.
It's not a
We're
competition.
not leaving it in May. It's coming with us.
Well, yes, that's the point. It's a life lesson. It wasn't supposed to just be a 1-month trial. I don't remember what you prescribed to me.
My prescription to Kelly was to, regardless of the expectations she had set for certain things, to just continue to be proud of herself no matter what happens and to find the joy. And I would say, I would say she did okay. I think that it is a very much a lifelong thing that she has to work on, but I do think that you handled such situations better than you maybe normally would have. And I do think that you were less hard on yourself.
Here's the thing about me. I am a very dramatic person. And I know this about myself. I'm very dramatic in many ways. Like, if I'm happy, I'm very happy. If I'm sad, I'm very sad. Like, I'm very extreme with my emotions. And I just feel things very deeply, but I also get over my things very quickly. So if I'm disappointed about something, I'm very, very disappointed, and I feel that, and I feel like, oh, this is not what I wanted it to be, and I'm upset about it. But I let that motivation fuel me. And the very next day, I'm like, okay, so now I'm going to put a plan into motion, how I can work harder, how I can do better, how I can put a plan in motion, and then I get to work on it. So yes, I got disappointed with certain things that happened this month, but I don't sit in it long.
No.
And so I feel like I did okay as well, because I kind of I turned it around quickly and I use it as motivation to keep going. I don't let it set me back, and I don't just give up and say, oh, well, whatever, I'm not going to fucking do that anymore. And I might pivot and say I'm not going to do that anymore, but I'll do something else and kind of change direction. So, and also obviously this month, kind of had a lot of factors, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be always improving because of how my brain is. Okay, what do we want to do? Our new prescriptions.
So mine for myself?
No, for each other.
Yeah. Mine for you is to find joy in the day.
Okay.
I just want you, and kind of to what your point that you were just saying, I just want you to take it day by day, and no matter what, even because life does life, no matter what, just find something to focus on the joy. It's okay to be upset about things. It's okay to have to process and deal with things, but at the same time, simultaneously, just find the joy in something too.
Okay. And mine for you is for you to have your task completed when it comes to the podcast the day before. Perfect. At a minimum.
Okay. Excellent.
Which means you could have them more than a day before, but a day before at the minimum.
Okay. Done.
Perfect.
We've already started the journey.
Excellent. So that is all for the week. You guys got a lot of us yapping this week. We hope you learned something and laughed along with us. Make sure you are following us on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you listen, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, all the things. Rate us, review us, share us with a friend. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.